The name of this puzzle is Triball 332, and the goal here is to put all these sphere pieces back inside. So it's classified as a packing puzzle, and it makes a 3x3x2 square. So if we try to stack these guys in here, they'll want to lay down on us, and let's just see if we can get everything to fit just by sticking it all in there. No, it did not work. So if we undo everything, when we actually look at it from a more logical perspective, we'll see that we have a square piece here. So we're going to put that on the edge. We're going to take this acute piece, or obtuse, and stick it in right there. And then we're going to take this rectangle. Now this rectangle piece has a longer line on it. So that's going to be used as our diagonal. So we're going to take it and put it diagonally up. And then we're going to take this other one and also put that up diagonally. Then we're going to put this guy in. And this V doesn't quite fit yet. So if we actually reverse them, we'll notice one has to go in that bottom corner. So we're going to stick that guy down there. And this guy fits in perfectly. Just like that. Thanks for watching. The name of this puzzle is Cast Dot. It has this black and silver piece that are tangled around each other, and we have to try and remove these from one another. So if we grab this black piece with our right hand, and we have this silver piece at the top, we're going to drop that down while keeping that middle silver piece up in the middle. And then we're going to hop that over just like so. Now we twist, drop, and pull, and this thing is disassembled. The name of this puzzle is Cast Dot. In a previous video we disassembled this, and in this one we're going to reassemble it. The first thing to note is that this silver piece actually has a little tip on it, or a cone. So if we put this back together, we got to make sure that we can slide that in. And then we have to twist it 90 degrees so that we can push that middle ball in, and then lift it up just like so. Now twist it, and then we hop it over. And that's how you reassemble the Cast Dot. This is an award-winning gear puzzle, and the solution may surprise you. The idea is that you want to remove both these pieces from each other, but as you start to do the puzzle, you'll realize the big tips on the end here will prevent you from removing it. The first and most obvious approach would be to move this gear around the box in many different ways to try to pop it out. But the actual solution is to get a very specific piece of the gear into a very specific hole and a very specific position. This is an award-winning gear puzzle, and it sure does take a lot longer to take this one apart than to put it back together. Once you know the ways this thing has to move, it's very, very simple to do. This will surprise you, but this is not 6 random nails and a wooden block. It is a puzzle, and the name of it is the balancing act. The goal is to put all 6 nails on top of one nail, and you'll see I can do one nail, but as soon as I try to do 2, it just collapses. It is impossible unless you know the trick. And the trick is, put one nail across, and then you put 2 nails going downwards. You put 2 more nails going upwards. And then you put 1 nail in the opposite direction, going the other way. You pick everything up, put it on top, and this puzzle is solved. This is the award-winning Cast Left puzzle. It's a double-sided maze puzzle, and you may think it is simple, but that is exactly what it wants. It builds you up just to bring you down. Not only do you have to push and pull these pieces, but since it is a odd egg shape, you also have to make sure that the orientation is correct. Just when you think you're making good progress, you get this gold piece all the way to the end just to realize that you're only beginning. So you actually need to go back all the way to the initial starting position on the gold side as you progress on the silver side. As mentioned, we have to push and pull these pieces through each other, but there's also a side move which spins the eggs to change their orientation. So now that we had brought back that gold piece to its initial position and allowed the silver piece to go near the exit, we have to bring the gold piece all the way back. And while we're doing this, we have to move the silver side around a bunch to allow the gold piece to properly move through the maze so that we can exit properly. As we reach the exit with the gold side, we just have to push the silver side to it now, but something is blocking it, so we have to backtrack the gold side one last time before it pops out. This is the award-winning Cast Left puzzle. It is only a 2-sided maze puzzle that may have you thinking it's easy. Taking it apart sure was challenging, but I think putting it back together is tougher. This puzzle moves in more than just 2 directions. You can also reorient it, and since it's 2 eggs, it makes it really difficult. Here is an example of spinning the egg to reorient it over top of just pushing and pulling them together. So what we're trying to do here is get the gold side all the way back to its initial starting position, and once that happens, we can start to move the silver side back as well. Now since the silver side is all the way on the top side of that straightaway, we have to bring bring the gold side all the way back to the exit. But of course, we can't do that until we bring the silver side back just a little bit. Now we move the silver side all the way to the top of that straightaway, which will allow us to bring the gold side to its exit. Now this lets us bring the silver piece back inside of the hairpin. And once more, we have to bring that gold piece all the way back to its initial starting position. And of course, it gets stuck on that corner, so we have to move the silver piece back quite a bit for one last time. And just like that, the gold piece is back where it needs to be. And shortly after, the silver piece. A simple rotation and the reassembly is done. The name of this puzzle is Easy Atom, and the goal is to remove this blue marble from the middle of it. At first it might seem pretty chaotic, but there's actually a pretty easy solution. All you have to do is slide the silver one over that gold piece, and everything falls right apart. The name of this puzzle is Easy Atom, and the objective is to put that blue marble back inside of all three of these pieces. There's a bronze piece, a gold piece, and a silver piece. This blue marble is going to be touching that bottom piece of that bronze piece, which holds it in. And then we want to leave our bronze piece there as we try and put this silver piece over top of the gold piece, maneuver it around, just like so, and then we put it over top of that bronze piece. We grab the silver piece and put it in that gap in the gold piece, and then we're able to push the silver piece back onto the gold piece. And that is how you reassemble the Easy Atom. The name of this puzzle is Cast Slider. It's a mechanical puzzle, and you might be thinking it's fairly easy to solve as there's not much movement you can do. So initially this puzzle comes like this, and when you pull everything apart, you play around with it a little bit and try to remove everything. But what you might not think of until the very end is if you actually line everything up perfectly, you can spin it just like that and solve the puzzle. This may surprise you, but both of these slide pieces go into this disc in order to form a puzzle. In a previous video, we disassembled it, and in this video, we're going to be putting it back together. In order to put it back together, we want to push this slide piece on so it stops, and then we want to push on this Hanayama piece so that it also stops. So we've got to rotate that around. And now, as we spin this, it's going to go in that track, and we want to spin this slide piece as well. Once we're at this point, we can just spin this disc and everything falls right into place. And then the name of this puzzle is Cast Trinity, and its difficulty is 6 stars out of 6 stars. That means it's a Grandmaster puzzle by Hanayama. And this part here, if we bring it up, we have to actually go up and out to twist it off, and it'll get around that bump. And then we grab the other piece, and it'll allow us to slide it up and through, which it has this little tiny dent in it right there. And if we match that up nicely, it comes right out. From here, we want to rotate the middle one and bring the small head up and through so that it'll go out. And we do the exact same thing over here. That's how you disassemble this puzzle. The name of this puzzle is Cast Trinity, and its difficulty is 6 out of 6, meaning it's a Grandmaster puzzle by Hanayama. In a previous video, I took this one apart, and this is just showing you how you go about putting it back together. This middle piece has a little divot, and if we pinch it off with the left piece, it'll allow us to bring this piece right over and fall right in, just like that. Now we put this long piece through it, which allows us to line it up, and then we get this piece going down. The only other steps are to pull the middle blank piece through, and then to put this Trinity piece back through, meaning that everything is tied off nicely. And this puzzle is reassembled.